Have you ever known deep down what the right decision was? Whether it was about a relationship, a job, or a major life change, but you still found yourself overanalyzing it to the point of exhaustion? Maybe you're even telling yourself logical reasons why you should stay, why you should keep pushing forward, even when every fiber of your being is telling you otherwise. I really know and deeply understand how, for intuitive people, especially empaths, they can get stuck in their heads, overanalyzing their emotions instead of just trusting their own inner wisdom. So, today we're going to be exploring why this happens, how it disconnects you from your true self, and what you can do to break the cycle. We're going to be talking about the dangers of overthinking your emotions instead of feeling them, how ignoring your intuition can lead to decision paralysis and disconnection, the value of trusting your gut and following your instincts, tools to clear mental clutter and tune back into your intuitive wisdom, and also the role of energy in emotional conflict and how to separate what's yours from what's not. So, first, let's kind of explore the idea of overthinking versus trusting. Intuition isn't loud, it's a soft, quiet knowing. But when we overanalyze, then we might drown out our intuition with thoughts like, well, maybe I'm just being too sensitive, or maybe if I try harder, then it will get better, or, well, I don't want to hurt them, so I'll just ignore this feeling. If you've ever found yourself mentally justifying why you should stay in a situation that feels wrong, you're likely trying to logic your way through your emotions instead of trusting your own inner wisdom. This can leave you feeling out of alignment with yourself and out of alignment with your own value system. That's something I talk quite a bit with my clients about is, are you in alignment with your current value system? Are you showing up well? Are you prioritizing temporary peace over having actual quality relationships, having authentic relationships? What is it that you're currently prioritizing right now? And is that in alignment with your value system? Or do we need to course correct to get you back into alignment? Your intuition is designed to protect you and to guide you. It's kind of like an internal GPS. Now, I know that my brain is wired very differently from my husband's. When it comes to actual GPS and trying to figure out where we're going to be going, where it is that we want to be, then I've noticed that my husband has a lot easier time orienting himself. He knows what direction things are going to be. For me, I kind of use more like the landmarks to kind of see where it is that I'm going. We all kind of tap into our inner knowing a little bit differently. But I want you to really focus on how is it that I gain information and how is it that I know what's coming up for me and how can I actually tune in to that internal GPS so I can gain more wisdom there. Because that internal GPS is always nudging you towards what's right and also kind of nudging you away from what's not right now. But if you ignore it, it's like silencing your own navigation system. And then you're wondering why you feel lost, right? If you're driving somewhere and you randomly turn off the GPS in the middle, then you might say, well, it's the GPS's fault. It didn't tell me where to go, but you're the one who decided to tune it out. And the same is true for your inner knowing. And the more you decide to tune into that inner knowing, the more you can develop those skills and the more you can come to trust your instincts. When you trust your gut, when you learn to trust your instincts and have built that relationship of trust with yourself, you're able to make faster and more confident decisions. There's no more agonizing over everyday choices because you are able to recognize when something feels right. It also really helps you to let go of ego. Ego makes things about who is right, whereas intuition makes things more about what is right. Remember, the brain wants to be right more than it wants to be happy, and sometimes that can get in the way of our own intuition and our own inner knowing. So if you really want to practice letting go of ego, practice leaning into that intuitive knowing and see what comes up for you. Following your gut also helps you to feel more aligned and at peace because you're not forcing things to fit that don't fit. You're not forcing yourself to do things that are out of alignment with yourself. And so you can actually ultimately feel more alignment and peace as you learn to follow those instincts. It also strengthens your self-trust. Every single time that you honor your intuition, you're building that confidence in yourself and your ability to navigate life. So I want you to take a moment right now and just kind of think about a time when you ignored your gut. Maybe you stayed in a relationship for too long, or maybe you stayed in a job that just felt off. Maybe you made a decision based on logic instead of feeling. I will share a personal example about when I was using logic to override my intuition. Without getting into too many details, I'll tell you that there was somebody that I met where my initial instinct was keep your guard up. In fact, I had a very specific thought that came to me in my mind that I won't be sharing here, but it was very strong and it was very powerful. And then I thought, well, maybe I just need to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? So I started to look into them and I could see some social proof that this person was who they said that they were. However, something still wasn't adding up. So while I did continue to pursue a business type relationship with this person, it was really interesting to see how things evolved over time. And just to make a long story short, and maybe someday I'll get more into details around it, but this person is now in prison for fraud. And it's so interesting because I can see things in hindsight that I wasn't able to see in that moment. My gut instinct said, run, stay away, something's not right. But I tried to convince myself that no, this person has the social proof that I need. This is going to be a great thing for my business and for theirs. We have a shared cause. And it turned out none of that story that I was being told was true. So I want you to also practice forgiving yourself also. Like if you recognize that there was a time when you should have listened to your instincts and you did not, know that you're human. And I am a firm believer in sometimes we have those experiences so that we will be more intentional about tuning in, about checking in, about following those instincts because they are there to keep us safe. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time. But even when you get it wrong, you can use that as information. You can use that to learn and grow. You can use that as personal reflection as to, okay, when was the first time I recognized that something felt a little bit off? And how did I challenge that feeling? Why didn't I follow my gut instinct? What was motivating that? So I want you to just get really curious about it. Take away that judgment and just be curious about what's coming up for you. Why has it been hard for you to trust your gut? Maybe you were burned. And this is what else I see pretty often is sometimes somebody gets burned once. There was one time when the fallout of not following their instincts was so significant that they think, I can't trust myself ever again. I made a mistake. But I want you to notice the difference between your intuition and your logic. Because generally speaking, that intuition is going to be correct and we're going to try to logic it away and fight it. Now, I am one who strongly believes in looking for the evidences, right? Sometimes our thoughts are not true. Sometimes our feelings are not true. But practice leaning into that and feeling for yourself when something is true and when something is not true. So here are some ways to shift from overthinking back into intuition. Number one, meditation and just kind of clearing out the mental chatter. Take some time to quiet your mind and create that space for clarity. Open yourself up to that curiosity in that space. Ask yourself, okay, what is at the root of my hesitation? Am I avoiding discomfort? Or is my intuition truly telling me that I should stay, that I should hold out a little bit longer? Recognize whatever the real fear is for you. Oftentimes it is a warning sign, right? There's some fear there. There's some hesitation there. Like maybe you're not wanting to hurt somebody's feelings or you don't want to misjudge someone. And it's okay to just recognize that those are some thoughts that are coming up for you and adapt accordingly. I'm not telling anyone listening that they should just assume that, okay, well, everybody's safe and I'm just going to follow my intuition on this. Take some time to slow your roll. Be gradual in your relationships, build a relationship of trust rather than only relying on your intuition. Because what's going to be most powerful for you is if you are following your intuition and you're able to logically see that things are in alignment. The problem exists when those things are in conflict with each other. And recognizing when the intuition is in conflict with the logic center of the brain, that's going to give you a whole lot of information. So pay attention to that. All right, tip number 2 is really tune into your body. Your body holds wisdom that your mind often tries to override. For example, when I met that person and I thought, oh, I'm getting some really weird vibes here. I went and looked at their website. I went and did some research on them and I saw some things that I thought, okay, well, maybe my gut instincts are off on this one. My logic was attempting to override it. Still, even though there was that bit of conflict between intuition and logic, I was able to protect myself, right? I knew out of the gate that, okay, I'm not going to tell this person where I live and I'm not going to give them any money. So if they want to collaborate on some business things, I'm happy to use my podcast platform. I'm happy to use my coaching to support their cause, but I had my own personal boundaries in place. So kind of, you can do that as well. Have your own personal boundaries in place while you're figuring out if this is a safe path for you, if this is a safe relationship for you, and to better differentiate between the intuition and the logic. Another thing you can do is energy work for clarity. As an intuitive or an empath, and you might be feeling the other person's emotions louder than your own. And sometimes that can seem a little bit like, okay, well, maybe that's my intuition, right? When I'm listening to this other person's energy, when their energy and what it is that they want is so loud, it makes it really hard for me to see what is mine and what is theirs. Taking that time to really self differentiate and in those meditative spaces, right, can really help to bring that clarity as well. Because sometimes it is hard to know. So ground yourself, shield yourself, and kind of imagine just sending back any emotions that don't belong to you with the mantra, okay, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. That will help to differentiate self so that you can see what's coming up for you. Another thing that might be helpful is try muscle testing to see what is yours and how much is theirs. Sometimes I'll even muscle test and go, okay, well, this feels kind of true for me. How much of this is mine and how much of this is theirs? And sometimes I'm surprised when I see that through muscle testing, I'm able to see that, okay, this is only 20% me, which means I'm kind of actually neutral about it. And it's 80% their energy and their desire that I'm picking up on empathically. But that helps me to kind of step back and go, okay, so it's not really me that's really wanting this. And then I can turn on that logic part of my mind to kind of see what's coming up, right? But again, it's self-differentiation and recognizing what's coming up for you. Is this me? Is this them? Or is this my own logic coming in right now? So the challenge for this week is if you find yourself overthinking, if you find yourself in conflict between your own intuition and your own logic, or maybe if you're struggling to self-differentiate between what it is that you want because what it is that the other person wants feels so loud, just notice it. Increase your own personal awareness around that. And if you would like help learning how to navigate those things, come and work with me. I would love to work with you. It really is a lifelong journey, and not one podcast episode is going to fix it all for you. But I would love to jump on a call with you to see how the tools that I have can benefit you in your own personal life. So, if you notice that you're absorbing someone else's emotions, if you notice that you're maybe feeling out of balance between the logic and the heart center, take a deep breath and send the energy away that's not yours and call back in what is yours and just see if that clarity follows. So if you're ready to deepen trust in your intuition and break free of the cycle of overthinking, then let's work together. My coaching helps highly sensitive people and empaths like you develop the tools that they need to live authentically, to stand in their own power, to differentiate self when they feel like everybody else's wants and needs are so much louder. So there are some limited spots available right now, but come and find me. You can email me at MaryAnn at MaryAnnWalker.life. You can find me on social media, but come and work with me. I would love to work with you. I'm currently offering free consultation calls. You can find the link in the show notes to just book a free consultation call where we can kind of chat about it and see how coaching might benefit you and kind of see what's coming up for you personally. Thank you so much for being here today. I would love to know what questions you have. What parts of this do you struggle most with? Do you struggle most with your intuition and recognizing when it is intuition? Do you really struggle with the overthinking, or is it that you really struggle when you're so easily influenced by other people's emotional states? I would love to know. So again, come and find me and let me know what's showing up for you so that I can show up in love and support for whatever it is that you need right now. All right, well, I hope you have a great week and let's talk soon. Bye now.